One thing I've gathered is that we've all got some trauma that we're dealing with. Some people's traumas are bigger than others. Some people's traumas has affected them in different ways. But one thing we can't deny is that we all have some stuff that we're dealing with. I've gone through things where 1,000,000% they've affected me or made me the man I am today. I've got some good characteristics and some bad characteristics. And I would say what I've been through, the trauma I've had, has definitely made me the man I am today. So these things, that the trauma that I had was when I was very young, like 5, 6, 7 years, 8 years old. And as time's gone on, I would have told some of those traumas, but I don't think I have as best as I could. And it's affected me in good ways and bad ways. I'm very efficient, I'm very self-reliant, I'm very ambitious. One thing I've learned about trauma is that you can't ignore it. With trauma, you have to be very self-aware. And I think the best way to deal with trauma is becoming more emotionally intelligent. I noticed I was very angry as a kid. I was very angry. And I remember one day I was like to myself, why am I so angry? Why am I so angry? I'm losing my temper over the smallest things. When I start asking myself those questions is when the pennies dropped, like, I got some work to do. It wasn't easy, but the fact that I was aware of it, when I did get angry, I was like, wait, why are you reacting like that? What's the trigger for that? You know what I'm saying? One thing is you have to build on your emotional intelligence to be able to address your trauma. That's one step I would say you have to take. So that's one thing I'd recommend to you guys. Like, first ask yourself, like, why are you responding in a certain way, or what is your triggers? Why is this happening? Why do you feel like that? The more you ignore it, the worse it gets. So sometimes, I'll be real, like, sometimes you want to ignore it. You don't even want to address it. But I think that's where the growth comes in. The growth comes in when you start to address it, when you look into it. You know what we don't talk about enough is that although we've gone through trauma and it makes us act certain ways, we don't talk about the effect it has on other people. So grow and heal is not only for yourself, it's for your people around you, your loved ones. You know what I'm saying? They have to deal with the burden of your short temper or your lack of emotional intelligence or shutting them off and stuff like that. You don't want to do stuff like that to your loved ones. From my understanding, that a lot of trauma is like passed down from family to family, parents, grandparents, all that kind of stuff. It's been passed down. You have to give people grace as well at the same time. It's their first time being human, first time being parents, first time being grandparents, right? So before you like judge anyone and condemn them from like oh, you did this to me, oh, you did that to me. The way parents used to go about their lives back then, they didn't know any better, do you know what I'm saying? So you have to understand, that was the first time they went through life themselves, you know what I'm saying? So instead of pointing fingers, why don't you look within and try and manage it or fix the trauma you handed, like, you know what I'm saying? They're never going to be perfect, and that's just the way it is. But that's not an excuse for you to be a horrible or mean person to anybody else just because of the trauma you've had. I don't know about you lot, but for me, carrying all that trauma for me felt very heavy. I had some weight on my shoulders that I just couldn't address, or I didn't even know where it was coming from. The moment I figured it out, or the moment I was like, bro, I need to address this, is when I felt lighter. I felt lighter because I didn't have that confusion going around my head. All the men that are watching this, all you probably feel like, I'm not addressing my trauma. I have no trauma to deal with. I'm a man, bro. I need to carry that on my chin. I'll be real, that's how I thought as well, but to make me a better man because I'm more in tune with, I'm more in control of my responses, my actions. I'm not getting frustrated and losing my temper. Before I used to get in so much trouble just because I was so angry. You know what I'm saying? But now it's like, I get annoyed, I take a second to breathe. I lead with compassion, you know what I'm saying? It's made me a better man because I'm not fighting conflict with conflict. Don't run away from your trauma, run towards. The more you run away is the more you compensate that trauma with stuff that you don't want to be doing. Drugs, parties, and chasing the wrong dopamine, you know what I'm saying? Trying to fill that void. Don't do that. Trauma has a lot of negative correlations to it, which is fair enough, I understand, but I feel like you can use your trauma for good. Me, I use my trauma for good. I'm very self-reliant and I'm very independent. So if I want something done, I'm gonna get it done. I don't need to look for handouts, figure it out on my own. Before, I used to shut people off. What I used to do with my trauma, I used to shut people off anytime. I never used to ask for help. I used to just try to do my own thing and fail. But now I use my trauma for good. Like, I use that mindset to, like, you know what, I can get it on my own. If I need to get something done, I can get it on my own. If I need to hustle and make something happen, I will do it on my own, you know what I'm saying? Rather than just shutting people off and I don't want to be around nobody. I use that solo energy to fend to get it, do you know what I'm saying? Just flip it, you can use it in a good way. The past traumas don't need to define who you are as a person, do you know what I'm saying? You have to learn from these things. I think the lack of intelligence makes us think we have to be stuck in a box. Oh man, this is just who I am, this is just who I am. To be honest, it's just lazy. We're not willing to put the work in, we're not willing to face what's uncomfortable, do you know what I'm saying? And you have two choices: face what's uncomfortable and become a better person and grow, or just be that person nobody wants to be around, having that weight on your shoulders. Walking around unhappy, deep down unhappy, you know what I'm saying? You don't realize how much your aura and you just grow as a person when you let go of that stuff. to deal with it, do you know what I'm saying? You have to be vulnerable. I know it's hard to be vulnerable, especially when that block is, they don't teach us how to be vulnerable. They don't teach us how to be in touch with your emotions, but you actively have to put that effort in, especially if you're trying to grow, do you know what I'm saying? You have to be accepting to receive feedback. I want us to address one trauma this year and grow from it. Yourself in a position to grow as well, right? You can't be around the same environment, the same habits that are not allowing you to grow. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're surrounding yourself with the wrong people, the wrong vices, you're not gonna grow as a person. You have to let it go. You have to get that stuff behind you, man, and try and move forward, do you know what I'm saying? That's the only way you're gonna elevate as a person. That's what growth is about, man. Outgrowing old things, outgrowing old habits. Address what you've been running from. Surround yourself with people that want to see you win. Surround yourself with people that you can be vulnerable around. Have conversation with, and I think that's the best way to deal with the trauma, man. Is to have conversations. You know what I'm saying? Address why is it like that? People asking you uncomfortable questions. People asking you the right questions. I think that's the best way you can grow from having trauma. So surround yourself with the right people. Do stuff that's gonna elevate your energy, do you know what I'm saying?